Hello and welcome back to our channel, I should say. Today we will be discussing what will we be discussing?
Shoes.
Shoes. Apparently Chai decided that we need to piggyback off of that.
We need to piggyback off of the bra chat um, and talk about shoes and inclusive sizing.
Yes, that oh my god, and I've had a freaking rock star today and my brain is just going to mush.
Bro, I've got a nice coffee. I'm good.
Well, lucky you. So again, this isn't an issue that I have.
It is one that I have and suffered my whole life.
Yeah, I've been extremely lucky because technically I can fit into kid-sized shoes. So
That is very unfair. Kids have the most coolest clothing.
they really do. Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
So cute.
So you've suffered with this your entire life?
Yep. So, one of my earliest memories, shoe-related memories, was when I was 5 or 6, and I used to do jazz dancing, jazz tap ballet. And they were trying to find me a pair of shoes to dance in, and they were going through the cupboards at the dance studio and everything, and they pulled out a pair, and they're just like, this is the same size as your aunt. My aunt also danced at the same studio, and so did my grandma. So they're just like, 5, 6 years old, and they're just like, you're already taking the same shoe size as your adult aunt. And that's when I realized that maybe my feet was a problem.
Well, it sounds like you definitely had big feet. I'm surprised you didn't go into swimming.
Interestingly enough, because my mum grew up in Sydney, one of the Olympic trainers wanted to train her into Olympian, and my grandma was like, "Oh no, her shoulders are already too broad; they can't get any broader." So she pulled her out of swimming classes, and that's why my mum isn't an Olympian.
Okay. That was not in the slightest what I said, but good job. I mean, yeah, that sucks.
Um, I do enjoy swimming though.
I both love and hate it.
Mm.
So, about this topic today. So, I know that the bra thing was mostly to do with the sizing and trying to get the right size for comfort.
Yes.
So, how did shoes tie into that?
Um. So shoes are very difficult to find in larger sizes. So for context, I'm over 6 foot tall, and my shoe size is an Australian women's 12, which doesn't technically exist. Um, and so I reached that size like in my teens. So imagine trying to buy shoes that fit. Um, so when I was a teenager, I shopped primarily in the men's section because things just didn't exist for my body and my body shape and size.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
yeah, so I lived in men's clothing, and it wasn't until I was in my 20s that they started making clothes for the tall and broad. Um, and um, but they never kind of caught up with shoes. Um, so I um, I often had to import my shoes from America, which is actually getting difficult again for some reason. So I, I quite enjoy the gothic aesthetic. Speaking strictly clothing wise, I also like goth culture, but like we're talking aesthetically. Yeah. Um, I'm
Oh,
into goth clothing. So I used to shop at Demonia, and they used to make up to a size 14, sometimes up to a size 16 in their shoes, and then they stopped in the most recent years, and so only a very limited selection of their shoes actually come in that size, and they're not the cutest shoes either. They used to have a wide variety of really nice looking shoes, and now it's just very limited to more unisex styles, which of course I'm used to shopping because I've always had to. Um, so that
But you would like to see the cuter styles coming back in your size.
yes. Um,
So, did Demonia give a reason as to why they stopped making so many styles?
um, no, I have no idea. It's not like I keep up with their socials or anything, so I don't know if any announcements were ever made. They just, over the years, stopped making them, um, which is tragic for me because I really like them. They're very comfortable shoes. They're very good. And the Demonias that I do own, I've worn to death. They are absolutely destroyed because I wore them so much. Because especially at the time, they were the only shoes that I could get that would fit my feet. And so they cost an arm and a leg. So imagine being a poor uni student. I didn't live at home. So I was paying bills and stuff on top of all of that at like 17. Um, and yeah, the only shoes I could get were really expensive imports that I had to. Do you remember Red Stripe Clothing in the city?
You are asking the wrong person.
Okay, so in Northbridge there used to be a gothic clothing store called Red Stripe Clothing, and I would have to go into the city and go there and get them to order in special size shoes for me. Um, so that could take upwards of a month or two. Um, so there was no walking into a store and just buying a pair of shoes. I had to specially order them in, and at the time there was only one brand that I had access to that made them in my size. So I wore goth shoes everywhere, even if I wasn't dressed gothly.
Gothly.
Gothly. I don't know how else to phrase that.
It doesn't matter. We long established a while ago that you and English do not meld.
Yeah, this is true. I did fail English in high school,
Despite being of British descent.
despite being of British descent and also having a degree in English literature. Um,
Wow, you're just making this much, much worse.
okay, it was okay.
Back to shoes. Back to shoes. Before I continue to roast you, just back to shoes.
So yeah. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and go to recently.
Okay.
I probably a year or two ago, I discovered hot chocolate design shoes, and I ordered them through Berserk, which is another gothic clothing store in Australia. And they only had up to, I think it's Venezuelan sizes. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And so they went up to a 42, which is apparently an equivalent to a US 12. And I thought, well, I'll try it because the dimensions on, like, the measurements on the shoe said that they should fit. So I was like, well, I'll try it. It might be a bit tight, but I'll try it. So they do go on my feet. They're extremely tight, and I thought, oh, well, this is another shoe that's nearly fitting, but not quite enough to be comfortable to be able to wear out unless I'm going to be in a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Facebook started to bring out a lot of advertisements on the platform, and so you know how like every second post is just an advert for someplace.
I'll take your word for it.
You don't use Facebook?
I did. I don't think I've been on Facebook in years now.
Well, anyway, in the recent years, yeah, it's like 90% ads.
Oh,
Anyway,
wonderful.
anyway, in my desperation for finding shoes that fit my feet, I've searched a whole bunch of different websites, and just each time they're either ugly as or not in my size or not available in my size. Like they're made to my size, but that size is sold out and they're not going to get them back in, that kind of thing.
Just
And
terrible luck.
Just terrible luck, yeah. So then an ad for popping candy came up, and they are a store in Sydney, I believe, that stocks hot chocolate designs, and they also have like their own line of shoes, which I think is selling out now. Like they've gotten rid of all of their flats. I'm not really too sure what's happening with that. I will look into it. But anyway, in the meantime, they still sell hot chocolate design. And that's when I found out that they go up to a US 13 in some of their designs. Um, so having tried on the 12s or the 42s, I was like, well, you know, they're very tight, they're very uncomfortable. I think if I went up one size, that would be enough to make them comfortable. So I invested like $120 into these shoes, and they just arrived yesterday.
Oh, is that what the picture was of?
That's what the picture was of. Yes. That's why I was
Okay
so
then.
excited, because I got these shoes and they went my feet and they were the perfect size I've never had. And I don't know if you can put up a picture of the shoes that I posted.
I will. Don't worry.
Um, but yes, I'm just very excited because these shoes are sparkly and cute, and I'm just in awe that they fit my feet. And I'm just so happy that I have casual flats that fit my feet and are comfortable. And this has literally never happened before.
Okay, well, I mean that is really good, and again, it is really strange because these are problems that I didn't even know existed. I mean, my I've got two brothers, and they've both got massive feet, being males,
Mm,
and I know that I can go shopping in Big W, and I pretty much fit. I think it's a 6 to an 8 in Big W sizes, and their sizes fluctuate something fierce.
mm.
But they have a hard time fitting into the men's sizes down there. They actually need to go 2 sizes bigger than what they actually are. It's
Yeah,
pretty much gotten to the point that my younger brother, he just buys Converse now. He just orders it straight from America because they fit.
yeah, and that's what I was having to do as well, because like just shoes in Australia were not going up to that size. Um, and even if I fit into the men's shoes, um, like that's the other problem. Like it's a unique problem. Like it's obviously a problem for men as well, finding men's size shoes in sizes big enough to
Mm.
fit their feet. So imagine being a woman or femme presenting and having to try and cram your massive clown feet into the tiny little shoes that they have available for women.
And if they do fit, you're going to have to try and style an outfit around these shoes.
Yeah,
That, honestly, I mean, probably just going to be joggers or sneakers, whatever you want to call them.
yeah, and I'm uh don't fashion police do not come after me, but I am strictly against sneakers and skirts. I just don't think they mix well. So when you've got big feet and all you can find to fit are men's sneakers, and you want to wear a nice dress or something, you know, like even just a summer dress or something,
Yeah,
you can't really style them with,
sneakers.
yeah.
And men's sneakers at that.
Yeah, so finding a cute style that will match your outfit, and because, you know, there's a lot of pressure on women in particular to have a particularly nicely styled outfit. Like people will judge you on like that.
Oh, I get judged a lot then.
You probably do. Thankfully, I think we covered this before. Australians like to keep it to themselves. So
Yes.
they will be judging you inside their head, but they're unlikely to actually tell you to your face.
Well, you know what the beautiful thing is? Is that in my city, my tiny, pathetic little city that keeps swallowing up surrounding suburbs, I fit in with the rest of the people, leggings, sneakers, and a t shirt.
Yeah,
I mean, I do, and this is fair, I do take notice of those that actually do put together an outfit. I look at them and go, damn, that is a nice looking outfit. You've got way too much time on your hands. Anyway,
some people like to get dressed up.
and that is completely fair. The problem is that if you're not dressed up, you get judged. If you do dress up in a certain area, you get judged.
Yeah. So maybe we'll remove judgment from this, but for personal happiness, sometimes it's just nice to have a cute pair of shoes to go with your skirt instead of men's joggers. Um,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, this was like a really difficult thing. So instead of buying clumpy, huge joggers, I didn't have options for streamlined flats or anything that were more feminine in appearance. Um, which didn't do much for my self esteem because I'm already quite large and don't have a very feminine shape. So I was already bullied quite a lot for not fitting the standard image of a woman. Um, so not having access to feminine clothing, and in particular shoes, just it, it caused more issues, more psychological issues for me, I think, on top of just the not being able to find shoes that go on my feet.
Well, the thing is that I ended up mentioning last night when you suggested this topic was with the influx of the drag queens that
Yes.
I thought there would be a sort of like an influx of feminine shoes, but I just remembered that they typically tend to be in high heels.
Yes. So this was another huge issue for me. When I found shoes that would fit, um, and it was fantastic, but they were all performance shoes. So all kind of stripper high heels and stuff. So one of the brands that I usually go to, particularly back then, was Pleaser because they do up to like a size 16 in all of their shoes. Um, but they are very high heels most of the time, sort of thigh high boots, that kind of stuff, designed for performers. There was not really any styles, um, just for day to day wear.
Yeah, everyday wear. Which, I mean, to be fair, the drag queens and the performers that need that sort of showiness to their outfit, they're probably thinking, well, I'm tired of seeing all this everyday wear. Where is the stuff for us?
Yeah,
So it seems to be like a you can't win. It's a catch 22 because you either find the like I guess you could say the feminine appearing shoes for the performers, but not everyday wear, or the performers seem to find it in everyday wear, but not for performers. So there seems to be like a butting of the heads here where a couple of companies should really just come together and say, look, we're just going to cater to both of yous.
yeah, and I don't know why that hasn't existed really until recently. Um, like I know Pleaser do flats now, but they don't do up to their usual. Oh no, I do think they do recently up to a size 16. So I have a 14 in their flats, but apparently my flat feet are smaller than where I'm wearing heels, so I have to go up a size when I wear heels. Um, so I really should have ordered a 13 in those shoes, but they're very nice shoes. But the hot chocolates are definitely more comfortable.
I mean, I would definitely have to take your word for it because I just wear sneakers, unfortunately.
Yeah. And
Of
that's fine. Like no shade to anybody who just lives in sneakers. And even if you're a woman who wears men's sneakers, I'm absolutely not judging anybody. That's just not what I wanted to live the rest of my life doing.
Yeah, and that's absolutely fair. Although I was going to say there is a pair of platform Mary Janes that I wear that were too big for our mutual friend, too small, I should say. I think they were a size 9. I cannot remember where she got them from, but they were an absolutely perfect fit for me, and they are so comfortable.
It's so nice to just find a shoe that just fits and is just nice.
Yeah, because every time I've worn heels, my feet have been killing me like 20 minutes later to the point
Yeah.
that I'm like, anything with a heel, I do not want to know about. It can go die in a fire.
Yeah. Well, that's what I had an issue with was that when I was younger, wearing heels wasn't a big issue, but because of my spinal deformities and stuff, I can't safely or comfortably wear heels anymore. So I've been really searching for flat shoes, and they're just particularly difficult to find in feminine styles in my size.
Well, it seems like you've managed to find two hot chocolate and pleaser.
Pleaser, yeah, they mainly do performance heels, but they do have like
Some flats.
they have a flat that comes in different
Oh,
colors.
Well, hey, at least you got color choices. Better than
Yes,
nothing.
yes, very exciting. They have uh, I can't remember what the texture, like the fake leather PVC
Pleather.
or something. I don't know.
No.
They have that in pink, and that's the shoe that I have. um, which is very cute, and I love it. Um,
Yeah, because I remember one stage that I was all about the flats as well. But
yeah,
unlike you, I had no issue finding them because I could walk into any department store and be fitted easily.
yeah, and that's the thing is that for most of my life I was cramming into shoes that were too small for me, which is why I just wear thongs or flip flops for our American friends, um, because you know,
The
the,
Australian safety boot.
yes,
Sorry. It's what my nonna used to call them.
yes. So
But
I live in those because they just. I've never had an issue wearing those because they're so open. There's no cramming my foot into something.
I I've never been able to wear thongs.
I find them very comfortable. They're like the only shoe wear I wear. Um, Apart from now, hopefully the hot chocolates. Like I will just buy all of their designs now that I know that they fit so well and they're so comfortable. Even though they're like a plasticky material, but the inside is like canvas. Um, so I thought they were going to be really hard, but actually they're quite soft.
Oh, that's good. That adds a lot more to the comfort level.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thongs I could never wear because I'd always get blisters between my toes from the thingy that's meant to keep it on your feet.
Yeah. I think probably I have like what do you call it, like a callus or
Callus?
something?
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
calloused from that.
Yeah, because I've been wearing them my whole life, so my feet are used to them and they're the most comfortable for me.
Well, as you said, there's no cramming them in, and they're free to spread as far and as wide as they want.
Yeah, it's kind of like you know the barefoot craze at the moment. Like people are going barefoot and training their feet to adapt to walking on the ground instead of
Ugh.
cramming into shoes. So thongs kind of are like that, but cheating. You don't have to walk on hot ground. Like especially for Australia, where the summer heat gets so bad that like you will literally fry your feet if you were
You
walk
realize that
barefoot.
asphalt's got a liquid state.
Yeah, yes. So wearing thongs really helps, so you can have that sort of natural foot spread and feeling, without the adverse side effect of walking on hot or sharp ground.
Yeah, I don't think I will ever be partaking into that sort of uh, trend because I can barely walk around my own house without some sort of shoe on.
I can't stand wearing shoes in the house.
Oh, well, to be fair, I've got a dog that chews up bones, so
Okay, yeah. I do not have that problem.
yeah. I mean, at least it's not Legos.
No, my son never played with Legos. He wasn't very interested in them, so there was no walking on toys and shit when he was a kid.
Oh gosh, I wish I could say that that was the same for us. But when our dog was a puppy, he had so many toys, and we'd forget about them until we step on them, and they would squeak, and we're like, "Holy!" Oh, it's okay. It's just his toy.
It's okay. You're just woken up the whole neighborhood. No biggie.
Especially his damn boot. Well, it also turned out that he didn't like squeaky toys, so he tried to rip out the squeaker as quickly as possible. So sometimes we'd just have the squeaker laying around. That was always fun to step on.
I can
Jerk.
imagine. Yeah, my
So
son
I
was more into computers actually, so we would just like put out an old keyboard in front of him and he would just bash away at that. He wasn't interested in baby toys or anything growing up, and that's probably the autism. Um, but yeah, we were sort of freed from the typical small child.
noisiness of
Yeah, the small childness of a small child.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I can say that we finally figured out that he doesn't like squeaky toys. He was so much easier to please and so much quieter too. Turns out he's got a thing for rope.
Hmm.
He loves his rope toys.
Do you play tug of war with him?
No, he doesn't like tug of war.
Oh,
Unfortunately, his breed is not prey driven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a livestock guardian dog. So he's all about protecting the flock but not chasing the prey.
Oh.
So tug of war is a for very prey driven animals. When he was younger, he liked it, but then he realized that we were stronger than him. Then he just got very upset about it. Was like, you know what? I'm never playing this again.
Screw you guys.
Pretty much the same as fetch. We had to stop playing fetch with him because that's a prey drive as well.
Mm.
So we were teaching him a prey drive, and we were like, "Oh crap, we really shouldn't be doing that." So he actually really liked fetch. He eventually got the hang of it too. Instead of just running after the ball and then just standing there looking back at me like, "Now what?" It's like, "Now you pick it up and you bring it back."
I feel like toddlers are kind of the same.
They are.
Like you throw something and you're just like, go get it. And they just toddle up to it and they're just like, well, what am I supposed to do with this now? Like, you didn't want it. Why would I want it?
Except, unlike toddlers, dogs are much easier to train.
Yes. I can imagine.
Especially the
Not that I've
toilet
ever.
training.
To be fair, I didn't personally toilet train my son because I was living in Japan at the time. Um, but my friend did, and they did a good job. I came home from Japan. He was toilet trained, so I was like, sweet.
All right. Took that off. No, I mean, to be honest, when we got our dog, we'd never had a proper puppy before. We'd had uh, dogs that were like a year old puppy sort of thing, but never a proper puppy.
Mm.
So he was our first experience with a puppy. And I was like, oh my God. Because I was trying to think, I was like, every dog that we've gotten, whether it's from the pound or from friends that have just been given away their animals, like they've always come house trained in some degree.
Mm.
And then it was like, oh, okay, well, we've got ourselves a puppy. Oh God, the puppy isn't house trained. It was like, oh, what do we do? Oh my gosh. It was like being a first time parent. It was like, I know that that stuff should happen, but what stuff? How? When? Why? I'm just going to be in the corner. Do not disturb me.
At least with dogs, you can just plonk them outside and they can go in the grass.
I would say yes, but with the way that our carport is done, as a puppy, he could get through it.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was a very unfortunate thing that we discovered. But fortunately, the very first night that we had him, because we put him outside to let the ferrets run around,
Mm.
we put him outside and we completely forgot that he's this tiny puppy. I mean, he wasn't tiny, but he was the small puppy. And we called the dogs back in after the ferrets had their run around, and we were like, wait, where's the puppy? And we're like, oh my God, that's right. He can get through the carport. So we all geared up, getting ready to race out the door to try and track down this lost puppy. He's sitting outside the front door. Just sitting on the welcome mat looking up at us, and we're like, you are a little bastard, but thank God.
Oh, that reminds me. Yesterday my support worker was over and she was helping me do the laundry and stuff. And when we do the laundry, when we use the dryer, we have to leave the sliding door open. And it has this little cat flap in the fly screen. And anyway, because my aunt and uncle are away on holiday, so I'm pet sitting the cat.
Yeah,
Um,
Rose.
yes, Rose, who's very loud.
She's not
Very
loud, vocal,
vocal.
opinionated.
She's very
Oh,
mad at me. Anyway, my aunt said strictly do not let Rose outside at all. And anyway, me and my support worker were walking around the house and we're just like, wait, Rose is really quiet. Where has she gone? And then we're looking everywhere and then we're just like, has she gone out through the slide door? So, like, my support worker's running around all outside the freaking backyard and everything. And anyway, we came inside and then we're looking in the lounge room and we're just like, what if she's behind the couch? So my support worker jumps up onto the couch and kind of bumps it. Um, and it's like, no, there's no cat behind here either. So she walks out and then Rose just kind of like slips out from behind the couch and like looks at me and meows like, what the hell was that?
Oh my gosh, we had the same thing with our ferrets. The very first lot of ferrets that we had, because we'd never had them before, we were like, okay, so what do we do? And ferrets are an extremely quiet animal. They're so damn quiet unless they start duk-duking when they get excited or if they're angry or scared, they'll hiss.
Mm.
But aside from that, you can easily forget that you've got ferrets. Um, and unfortunately, somebody ended up leaving the front door open, and we ended up losing one. But we started freaking out because it was sort of like, we all forgot that we've got ferrets. This is a brand new pet. We're so used to having indoor, outdoor cats.
Mm.
So we're like, well, we'll just leave the door open. There's nothing that's going to be an issue. And yeah, then it's like, hang on, we've got ferrets now. So we have to start closing doors properly. We ended up finding the one that got out, and Mum was freaking out trying to find her other one because she had two at the time. We ended up finding him because of his snoring. Do you know how big a ferret is?
Roughly, yes.
Yeah. I did not know they could make that much noise being asleep. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, we've been recording for like 32 minutes at this point, and we got completely off topic yet again.
I mean, this is going to just expect this to happen.
We're going to end up discussing two or three subjects, apparently, topics, I should say, in a 30-minute video. So, if you do have larger feet, I guess that the message here would be, unfortunately, you're going to have to really look far and wide.
And fork out a lot of money. No $10 flats for you, I'm sorry. But I will provide links to the shops and designers that I use in the description.
And they also cater to the smaller feet as well, don't they?
They do, yes.
All right, well, there we go. Everybody can come and check out these links and
Yay!
enjoy the shoes.
Shoes for everyone. Well, unless you got bigger feet than me, then that's going to be a struggle.
If you got bigger feet than Chai, I recommend garbage bags.
That's mean.
Well, I mean, they go up to a 16, one shop, right?
Please do, yes.
Well, I mean, if they're bigger than a 16, come on, garbage bags.
Then you've got to get the men's sneakers, unfortunately.
I don't even think men's sneakers.
They've got to. They're like sportsman ones. Like, I don't know. I was talking to my friend and he said Ian Thorpe is a size 17.
Who the hell is Ian Thorpe?
Well, he's a really famous Olympic swimmer for Australia, like maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Okay, 10, 15 years ago, I was watching gymnastics and that was it.
Yeah, that's fair. Just he was really famous at the time.
Okay, I will have to take your word for that because I do not know who this man is.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, 10, 15 years ago, if you dropped a couple of West Coast Eagle names, I would know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
That's because you're a traitor.
What do you mean?
There is two sports in this beautiful land. Your fan is coming through.
Oh.
There is two sports in this state. The waffle and the AFL.
Yeah.
And you don't support the West Coast Eagles.
No, although I do like Knick Knack. I don't know if he's still
Uh,
playing or not, but
Nick Nui.
yeah,
Yeah. Actually, from what I heard, I think he's been out a lot with injuries, and I think he may have retired.
yeah, that's sad. But he's
That
also the only
is.
one that I knew of. But I thought he was cool.
Oh my gosh, a 6'7" man that was jumping up that high to make those marks. Oof. That's impressive. You don't see the taller ones doing that.
Mm.
Probably because they've got a lot longer to fall and cause more injury.
I can confirm that being this tall, and I'm not 6'7", but I am in the 6 foot range, and the floor is very far away.
I don't know why, but I thought you were about to say the floor is lava. I mean, to be fair, I could fall down and sprain an arm, and I'm not in the 6 foot range. That floor is a fair distance down.
Yeah,
It's just more for you.
yeah,
Oh, but anyway, yeah, we just got completely sidetracked again.
yep,
So Chai will be leaving the links in the description box for where she goes and does her shoe shopping for the moment until she finds more.
yep. This is
Hopefully,
absolutely non-comprehensive list.
and completely not sponsored either.
No.
There is absolutely no sponsorship going on here. It's just if you happen to have larger feet. And do they ship internationally or are they international?
So all of the brands are American except for Popping Candy. So I will try to link their international shopping sites, but for those in Australia, I'll also link Popping Candy because they're a good shoe site, and they also have other brands as well that I haven't tried out yet.
Okay, then. All right, well, look forward to that.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm saying that like it's going to be coming out tomorrow, but it's not. All right, guys. Well, I am Oscar, and this is.
Chai.
And we would like to thank you for stopping by and giving us a listen. Drop us a like if you enjoyed it. Anything you want to add, Chai?
Please subscribe. Give us love.
And those companies that she mentioned sponsor us.
Yes. Send me more large shoes, please.
Oh, I mean, you already gave him a great rate, good review. All right, listeners, thank you so much, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.